Hi, I'm Tom Labus with Prairie Rose Lights, and I'm going to show you the behind the scenes of our light show. So the process begins right here on the computer, which is actually where most of the time is spent. The program we use is called X-Lights, which is a free software with an awesome community to help support it. I add each of the items exactly how they would be in my yard or on my house, and I have the counts of every light as well. I don't do my own sequencing, so I purchase the sequences online from various vendors. I then have to map the corresponding items to the stuff that matches most closely to my setup. The import adds all the effects needed for my show, and then I can create my own effects for different props or edit the existing ones. And then I can preview it and see how it will look in real life.
Lights on the trees under falling snow. You get a bit closer when the winter's cold. Now I can't wait till you're by my side. All of the best gifts you just can't buy.
Here I could view all of my controllers. This will allow me to assign what ports on the controllers each light connects to. So I could just drag and drop them where I need them to be. Once I have everything the way I like it, it's just a few clicks to get it uploaded to the controller. Once the file is uploaded to the controller, I can add it to a playlist and then set a schedule. This is the Raspberry Pi that runs the Falcon Pi Player software that runs the entire show. So this is what tells the controllers what they need to do. Not the most elaborate setup, but it works. And that connects to this FM transmitter, which is what puts the audio out to the show. On the outside, we have this controller. This receives all the data from the player that I have inside. So this controller, these here will go right to some strands of pixels, and we have Cat5s that go out to smart receivers. The smart receivers can drive extra strands of pixels as well. The first set of smart receivers go to the Megatree. So inside here for the Megatree we have two smart receivers that are daisy chained to each other. So that only takes one port on the main controller. Those drive, each one drives 16 strands of lights each. And on each strand, I have 75 pixels. And then the last of which has the star come off of it as well. Next smart receiver is for these mini trees. These are made out of coroplast. They come from a manufacturer this way, and then I have to add the pixels in manually, and they just daisy chain to each other. And also running off of that receiver there is 2 rows of my pixel stakes. And so I've got 32 total pixel stakes, so 16 of them are being driven off the smart receiver with the mini tree. And the next smart receiver, or next set of pixel sticks are driven off of the same smart receiver as the arches. So the arches are made out of 1-inch PEX, and I just drilled holes into the back of them and just pushed the pixels into the arches, which makes a glow effect. I'm actually going to be replacing these this year. That runs off of the smart receiver right here. That same smart receiver runs this tune-in sign, and I ordered that with the numbers already pre-drilled for me, and then I just had to add the pixels to it. The lights on the gutters are C9 style bulbs, and they are actually attached to 1/2-inch PVC. And as you can see right there, they just have a clip that attaches the PVC to the gutter. I'm actually going to be changing these with regular pixels next year and a different setup being hooked up. The garage is using square pixels, just zip tied to PVC, and these are actually permanently screwed into the garage, and I just have to snap them in each year. The snowflakes just laid flat on the roof, and I have fish line going between them and attached to the gutter spokes to keep them from sliding too much in the wind each direction, although they got fairly loose over this season. They are run off of this controller box just over the ridge of the roof. There's a smart receiver in there that drives those. The ridge line, the roof peak of the pixels on top are just hooked up with PVC and then secured with zip ties and binder clips, although we had some pretty strong winds this year which threw them off a little bit this year. Along the edges of the shingles, those are actually just attached with the traditional C9 clips, roof clips. This is the video matrix. It's made with P5 panels as its primary component. I made a weatherproof or weather resistant enclosure using PVC trim board and some plastic. And on top I have it mounted up top with some turnbuckles, and it just rests on the brick with some wood there. I made it so it doesn't have too much of the weight on the bricks themselves. The panel itself can be accessed from the back through the windows. I can actually pull this plastic up if I need to. It's controlled with a Raspberry Pi computer, distribution boards, and a color light card that feeds each cable here feeds one row of the panels. That concludes the behind the scenes of Prairie Rose Lights. If you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comments. Thank you and see you next year.